In the end, he might save the Empire's people. But she questioned whether that was truly the image the child had wished for. Rogue gave no answer. The shopkeeper herself replied, saying it was not. If it had been the child's will, she would have wished for something brighter. She handed Rogue the child's belongings, the dress she had worn when setting out to become a hero, her pendant, and the sword he had given her. Rogue was stunned, and the shopkeeper explained that the child had left these items behind with instructions to pass them on to him. She reminded him of what the child once desired: gathering comrades, saving people, defeating evil, like the fairy tales of the Ruby-class adventurers long ago. What she had wanted was an adventure. Rogue held the glass in his hand and repeated the word to himself. Adventure. He drank, recalling her words, and reflected deeply. Hatred blinds the eyes, and even the wise lose their way. Blinded by rage, was he repeating the same mistakes? Thinking of the child, he admitted to himself that though others called him her master, he had only ever learned from her. Now he resolved to carry her heart upon his shoulders. Placing his hand on the table after finishing the drink, he thanked the shopkeeper. She smiled and asked where he was heading next. With the child's belongings in hand, Rogue told her that since he had drunk the wine of new beginning, he must now depart. This time not for revenge, but for the adventure the child had once dreamed of. Leaving the bar, he carried her memory with him. In his mind, he pictured himself and the child smiling together once more. And then with renewed resolve, he walked away to begin the tale of the Skeleton Herald. As Rogue stepped out of the bar, Harriet turned to Murin and said she had come out. Murin asked Rogue if her conversation was done. He explained that from here they would take the normal route. The path was said to be very cold, but since Rogue was nothing but bones, it should not matter to her. Rogue laughed at his words and mocked them, calling them incompetent juniors. Murin grew confused at her change in tone, sensing that something in her aura had shifted. Harriet admitted that it worried him. He recalled the guildmaster's words about Rogue and his remarkable eye for people. Rogue began walking ahead, and Harriet called out for her to wait. As they followed behind, Harriet spoke about the adventurer ranks. He explained that adventurers were divided into 10 levels, with Diamond being the highest and Earth the lowest. These ranks were often grouped into superhuman, upper, middle, and lower classes. Adventurers could not accept quests higher than their rank, and the higher the rank, the more expensive the commission fees became. Ordinary people rarely passed the 7th rank. Topaz and those who did were called superhumans. From the 8th rank onward, adventurers would either explore uncharted regions alone, hold back monster waves at the front lines, or serve as generals in the Imperial Army. As Harriet summarized, a goblin appeared in the forest. He cut it down instantly and continued, saying such enemies were meant for lower tiers. Soon after, a massive monster appeared, which he also slew, explaining that those belonged to the middle tier. Lastly, he mentioned that the 3 they had faced earlier must have been from the higher tiers. Worried, he asked if Rogue was listening. Rogue assured him she was, then asked what ranks they both held. Murin revealed that they were both 5th tier, Topaz. Rogue found that impressive, but remarked that the ranking system had changed since her time. She told them she had once been an adventurer of Ruby rank, if that rank still existed, calling herself an old warrior. Harriet thought the name Ruby sounded familiar, while Murin laughed at the claim. She said she had not expected Rogue to name a rank that only existed in fairy tales. Even as a joke, Murin admitted she had been terrified when she saw Rogue's undead army. She found her strangely funny. Hearing this, Rogue summoned her undead army with her sword, startling Murin, who turned back in shock at the enormous monster that appeared. Harriet, terrified, approached Rogue and begged her to put it away. She smiled and teased him, showing that she could summon monsters as well. Harriet cried as he pleaded with her, and Rogue sent the undead back to hell. Murin, however, seemed excited at the sight, while Harriet trembled.